Joy, can you tell us what your life was like before you got saved?
My life was really filled with confusion because I grew up in a religious home. We went to church almost every Sunday. So I was quite religious, and at the same time, I was stuck in sin. And back then, I used to think to myself, well, because I'm religious, because I go to church, I should be right with God. And it was only some years back that I was told the truth, and that's when I realized that I was living a lie. I was living a double standard life, and that's how my life was. Whatever my friends did, I thought it was the way to go. It was the way of life. Fornication, smoking, drinking. That's what I grew up seeing. So I thought that was basically the way of life, and I was living a lie.
So what brought you to that point of salvation? Was it depression or unhappiness? What brought you to a place to be saved?
What brought me to a place of salvation was the reality that I was living a lie, that if I died, my eternal destination would be hell. And the way it happened is that I was back in varsity. I was living in a commune, so I had a few friends in the commune, and one of the friends that I had, somebody witnessed to her, and then she came to me and said, "Hey, why don't you come with me to church?" Somebody invited me to church, and I was like, "Okay, why not?" And then I came to church, and from there I consistently came to church. But to be honest with you, it wasn't an immediate change. I was very skeptical in the beginning, and I had my doubts. But the turning point was when I saw the testimony in this friend of mine, because I knew exactly the kind of life that she lived. And I saw that radical change in her, and I said to myself, not only in her, but in a lot of people as well. And that's when I saw that, this has to be real. This has to be real. There's real power here. This is not just a happy clappy church, people meeting. There's actually something genuine here. And that's when I decided to actually make a turning point and make a decision to live for Jesus.
And after you got saved, what changed in your life and yourself?
Yeah. So what basically changed is, apart from being set free from addiction of smoking and drinking and all other things, was also my character. My character changed. The way I lived my life changed. I no longer lived like a sinner. I lived like a believer. And what was incredible about that is that even people that I had not told yet that I'm born again could see the change. And I remember my dad pointing it out first, that you've changed. I don't know what it is, but you've changed. A lot changed, and I started becoming bold and confident. I could never ever stand in front of people and address a group of people. And I was amazed by the kind of change and the boldness that God, imparted in me. And so that's basically what I saw, a big change in my character, and also the ability to overcome sin and addiction.
Now, if you could tell anyone that listens to this testimony anything, what would you want to leave them with?
I would say to them, you've probably tried everything. You've probably, you've heard things, you've read about things, so I don't know what your experience is, but what I would say to you is that you need to give Jesus a try. You need to open the door of your heart to Jesus and see what He's going to do for yourself. I've given you my testimony of how God has helped me. You need to step into that place where you open your heart to Jesus and see for yourself what Jesus can do with your life, what Jesus can do in your life and through your life. It's one thing hearing about it, but it's another thing experiencing it. And when I tell people about the kind of miracles that I experienced in Jesus, it's almost like I wish I could give them my my mind or my memory of or my experiences so that they could feel what I feel. For example, when I got healed from arthritis, when I tell people about their testimony, it's for them they look at me like, okay, but for me that's something incredible. It's miraculous, and I would say try Jesus yourself. Try him yourself, or just give him a try and see what happens.